Imagine you're a human. 50,000 years ago. No food for 2 days. Cold. Exhausted. By modern logic, your brain should shut down. Conserve energy, fail. But here's the twist. In many people, hunger doesn't make you stupid. It can make you sharper, quieter inside, more alert, almost calm. And if that sounds weird, good. Because the weird part is this. Almost every major religion built fasting into life. Not by accident. Not once. Again and again. Muslims fast from dawn to sunset in Ramadan. Buddhist monks stop eating after noon. Jews fast on Yom Kippur. Christians practiced fasts for discipline and purification. For thousands of years, we called it sacrifice, penance, self-control. But what if fasting is also a user manual for your body, written long before science had the vocabulary? And in a minute, I'll show you the one, the cellular process that makes this whole story click. It's not mystical. It's not trendy. It's biological. Welcome to Belief Decoded, where we decode ancient beliefs using history, psychology, and science. Today, why do religions want you hungry? And what happens inside your body when you finally stop feeding it constantly? Quick note, this is educational, not medical advice. Fasting isn't safe for everyone, especially if you're underweight, pregnant, have diabetes, kidney disease, or a history of eating disorders. If that's you, don't experiment. Talk to a professional. Now, let's decode the mechanism. Picture your body like a massive city. Food is the supply trucks. Insulin is the build mode signal. When trucks keep arriving all day, the city stays busy building, storing, expanding. But every city has a problem. Things break. Proteins misfold. Old parts pile up. Damaged mitochondria. Your cellular batteries start malfunctioning. So the real question isn't how do I build more? It's who cleans the city? In 2016, scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize for revealing the machinery behind a process called autophagy. It's your cell's recycling system. When resources are scarce, the cell starts breaking down damaged parts and reuses them. Not because it's magical, because it's smart engineering. Think of autophagy like the night shift, the cleanup crew, the repair mode. And here's the part most people miss. Autophagy isn't off when you eat. It runs in the background. But constant eating tends to keep your body biased toward growth and storage. Fasting and even just giving your body longer gaps can tilt the system toward maintenance. So, hunger doesn't just take energy away, it changes what your body prioritizes. Here's a simple version of what often happens. After you eat, your body focuses on digestion and storage. Later, it starts using stored fuel. With a longer gap, fat burning rises, ketones can increase, and cellular maintenance pathways become more active. And yes, how fast that happens varies by person, sleep, stress, and activity. But the pattern is old, ancient, because evolution didn't design you to snack every 3 hours. It designed you for cycles, feast and famine. Okay, cells are cleaning. But here's where it gets personal. If fasting is starvation, why do so many people report the opposite of weakness? Why do some feel clear, focused, even peaceful? That brings us to your brain. You've heard it. The brain runs on glucose. True, but when food is absent, your liver can turn fat into ketones, alternative fuel molecules. And one of them, beta-hydroxybutyrate, becomes a major player. Here's why that matters. Some brains function very smoothly on ketones once adapted, which is one reason brain fog can lift for certain people after the initial adjustment. Now the spooky part. Religious mystics describe fasting as peace and alertness. That sounds impossible, right? Alertness usually comes with anxiety, but fasting can create a weird combination. You're awake, but not panicked. Why would evolution do that? Because if you're hungry, you need to hunt. And hunting while terrified gets you killed. So, your brain runs an ancient program, calm arousal. A simplified version looks like this. Norepinephrine equal focus and attention. Dopamine equal drive and motivation. And systems that reduce pain and anxiety can shift too. It's not a guarantee. Not everyone feels amazing. But when it happens, it explains why fasting has been interpreted as spiritual for thousands of years. Because the body doesn't just get emptier, it gets sharper. Be honest, have you ever skipped a meal and felt more focused? Or do you crash and get angry? Comment one word, sharp or crash. I want to see how split the audience really is. Now, if fasting changes cells and brain, why is it everywhere in religion? Let's decode the pattern. This is where it gets goosebumps-inducing, without insulting anyone. I'm not saying religions invented biology. I'm saying something more interesting. Across cultures, fasting protocols often line up with recognizable metabolic windows. Almost like humans discovered, through experience, what the body responds to. Take the monk-style rule. No eating after noon. That's essentially a daily fasting window. Not extreme, just consistent. Biologically, daily time-restricted eating can help align eating with circadian rhythm for some people, and it keeps long off hours where the body isn't processing food non-stop. And from a psychological angle, no heavy dinner, no food coma, more stillness, better meditation, maintenance mode. Now, Ramadan. No food and no water during daylight hours, then eating and rehydrating at night. This isn't a hack. It's a structured ritual with built-in boundaries. It starts at dawn, ends at sunset. And the night is for recovery. For many healthy adults, it can be manageable. For others, especially with medical conditions, it can be risky. But as a human pattern, it's powerful. A daily cycle of restraint, followed by replenishment. And psychologically, it trains something modern life destroys. The ability to feel an urge and not obey it instantly. Then you have longer fasts in some traditions, like a full day fast. Crossing that threshold changes the experience. It's not just skipping breakfast, it becomes a full reset of attention. And yes, longer fasting is being studied for deep metabolic shifts and changes in certain immune markers. But it's not a magic reboot button for everyone. What it is a ritualized disruption of normal life. A controlled descent into discomfort, so the mind stops being glued to comfort. Which brings us to the part YouTube usually skips, the danger zone. Fasting has benefits in certain contexts, but belief without biology can turn into self-harm. There's a difference between I'm uncomfortable and I'm doing damage. Dehydration can strain the body. Certain medications don't mix with fasting. People with diabetes can crash dangerously. And anyone with a history of eating disorders should avoid fasting content like this as a challenge. This isn't fear, it's respect. And if someone does a prolonged fast, the most dangerous part isn't always the fast. It can be refeeding. A sudden high-carb, heavy meal after prolonged restriction can trigger dangerous electrolyte shifts in vulnerable people. That's why clinicians treat it seriously in at-risk cases. So, if your takeaway from this video is, I should do a 3-day fast, you miss the point. The point isn't extremes. The point is the pattern. Modern life says, consume non-stop. Scroll non-stop. Snack non-stop. Ancient life said, sometimes stop. Osumi helped reveal a hidden truth. Your cells have a recycling mode. Evolution wrote another truth. Your brain can enter a different state when resources are scarce. And across cultures, humans built rituals that mirror these shifts, whether for spirit, discipline, identity, or clarity. So maybe hunger isn't just an enemy to silence instantly. Maybe it's a signal, a tool, a switch when used carefully. Next week we go darker. Possession and exorcism. Demons, or a glitch in the brain's identity system. Subscribe to Belief Decoded and stay curious. Not hungry, curious.